Consider the points A and B on the isopoint curve I0. Okay, this is point A and this is point B on the isopoint curve I0. Then the change in the output ratio between A and B is shown by the difference between the slopes of the rays OB and OA. Now this is the slope of the ray OA and this is the slope of the ray OB. Change in the output is shown by these two slopes. Output ratio, what do we mean by output ratio? कितना Z2 यूटिलाइज हुआ है और कितना Z1 यूटिलाइज हुआ है. This is shown by the output ratio. Then the corresponding change in MRTS21 is shown by the difference in the slopes of the line tangent to I0 at D and A. What is MRTS? Marginal rate of technical substitution. That is the substituting the units of put 2 with the units of put 1. ये यहाँ पे इस line से show क्यों हुआ है? Because we can see that this isopoint curve is tangent to this particular straight line. So therefore MRTS to 1 at this point is shown by A, and again at this point we have a line that is tangent to the isopoint curve at point B. So these points A and B are showing the marginal rate of technical substitution for 2 of 2 for 1. Now consider the isopoint I1 and the points C and D. The slope of I1 at C and D is equal to the slope of I0 at A and B. That is, it is saying that the slope of C and D are equal to the slopes of A and B. Again, over here we have these straight lines which are tangent to the isopoint curve, and over here we have a slope. यहाँ पे slope क्या हमें बता रहा है? Z2 by Z1. कितना Z2 हमने substitute किया for Z1. The slope हमारे पास क्या है? ये जो curve है इसका slope, ठीक है ना? इसका this point पे जो हमने लिए, this is now equal to the slopes at point C, A, B and D. They are all equal to each other. What is it saying? It is saying that the input mix is the same at C and A, but the ratio Z2 upon Z1 is smaller at D and D. Now, come to point D and come to point B. The ratio mix, that is Z2 upon Z1, it is the smallest at these 2 points, that is at point D and at point B. At point D for I1 and at point B for I0. Here the ratio mix, that is the ratio of Z2 and Z1, which are utilized in the production of output, they are smaller as compared to the ratio mix at point A and point C. Why? Because I1 has a smaller elasticity of substitution than I0. That is, a smaller proportionate change in the input mix is associated with the same proportionate change in the slope of the isopoint. यहाँ पे जो हमारे पास ये वाला curve है I1, इसकी elasticity of substitution smaller है as compared to the elasticity of substitution at I0. Therefore हमारे पास यहाँ पे क्या situation आ रही है कि smaller proportionate change होगा in the input mix, that is Z2 और Z1 की utilization इस तरह से होगी with the same proportionate change in the slope of the isopoint. So this is simple elasticity of substitution, and therefore the smaller is the elasticity of substitution, the more bored in will be the isopoints, and smaller proportionate change in the input mix is associated with any given proportionate change in the slope of isopoint. Elasticity of substitution जितनी smaller होगी उतना curve वो होगा, ठीक है ना? उतना curve में हमारे पास curve की shape इस तरह से होगी, ठीक है? And the smaller the proportionate change in the input mix associated with any given proportionate change in the slope of isopoint. Okay, let me stop it over here. If there are any questions, you can ask.